Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Today we will have step number 3 that is a very important and a very long stage in the purchasing process. When we want to select a supplier, the supplier, how we can identify the supplier, from where we can know the existence of these suppliers, qualified suppliers, or have a list of these suppliers. And we want to have lots of ideas about the supplier's abilities, to assess his abilities, to review his experience, to see what kind of commodities he can provide us with, all technical offers he can tell us about. This is something very essential for people who would like to work in the purchasing process, is how to select the suppliers and how we join a committee that evaluates the supplier abilities and try to make the appropriate decision when they are taking the certain supplier among a short list of qualified suppliers. This is stage number 3. First stage, we said that there is identify the needs. Second stage, clarifying the needs. Third stage, we are identifying and selecting the best of the qualified suppliers. Here we have lots of ideas to discuss in this area. We have the RFQ, which is the request for quotation or request for proposal. This is a main document that procurement departments ask from the suppliers to provide. For example, any international organization or company or governmental sector organization or even a private sector company, they would like to know about the qualified suppliers' abilities written. So they are asking for what we say our RFQ. We are sending the TOR, terms of reference. This is our document as an organization for the suppliers to tell them, please provide your quotations and technical proposals, because we will have a committee to assess your abilities and to see whether you are qualified for this mission or maybe later on for other missions. So the RFQ today is a critical thing. If you don't understand it, if you are not ready enough to work with this, you are missing lots of knowledge and you are in the back seats of the purchasing department's leadership or decision committee. Again, there is what we say an electronic auction, e-auctions. We are using the electronic means in order to support us or provide us abilities to assess again the qualifications of the suppliers. Lots of ideas we have here in this section, and lots of knowledge we want to know more about, and the checklist that we should follow, new terminologies, and finally a very important stage in the purchasing process, that this is the core, the real core of the purchasing process. It's how to identify the suppliers and try to select the qualified one. Let's see the details in our book. We are on page 38. Again, we will continue highlighting the main ideas, and we wish you good time. When we say identify and selecting the suppliers, we don't mean the existing suppliers. Also, we are looking to build relationships with new suppliers. These suppliers are qualified to meet the demand of the organization. What kind of organization? Anyone, any organization. Because of whom? Because of the operational scheduling and operational planning and the internal customer. The internal customer, they are asking for materials all the time, and they have schedules, they have plans, they have operations. We need somebody to fulfill these needs. And this happens when we are selecting an alternative, a supplier who is qualified enough to provide us with what we need. Especially we are moving to new products or new markets or new customers, or finding new materials. These things are specifically available with specific suppliers. We want to know whom we will contract, how we select the best suppliers or the qualified suppliers, it's from this section or from this knowledge area. If we think about the international customers, we need a long list of items to assess them. When we think about the maverick buying for our internal users or internal operations or departments, it's not really accepted from our decision makers because of this. Because that the supplier department and the suppliers, the procurement staff and the purchasing department, they are qualified enough to assess the suppliers available and to give us the relaxation that we rely heavily on people who are qualified enough to assess the suppliers, to find the qualified ones, and there are certain tasks for procurement they can follow, and the mistakes of the not qualified decisions are minimized. So we can rely heavily on the process of the selection of these suppliers to have first of all a long list. This long list of the suppliers contains all the available suppliers that we expect to have one of them to be selected as our expected supplier for this mission. And these suppliers comes from the suppliers list comes from different information areas. We have our information database, we have our trade directories, we can see the competitors, suppliers, to know whom they are working with. You can find some journals or trade journals or professional journals. The advertisements or the advertisements, we can say that in different ways, for the suppliers themselves. This is a first stage to have the long list. Following this, we move to the short list. From the long list, we try to make a quick assessment from the supplier's expertise, the performance that we have known these suppliers before, the designs available for the products, if there are quality commitment by these suppliers, is there experienced managers in these suppliers organizations, if the technical abilities with them are qualified, their cost, their technology, their performance, their financial security, the availability to have modifications, which we say flexibility, the innovation, technology used. Lots of things we need to assess quickly to have the short list from the long list. Here, learning from practice, you can say that purchasing today have a special design, a special table format, and we have some organizations that they have criteria from themselves to assess the suppliers and to select the suitable one for them. You can read it carefully to have some knowledge from the area, from the field work. What we say about these factors, we'll be talking about in more details. We will talk about the scorecards or the performance evaluation for the suppliers. Maybe we will have it in chapter 7. But we want to say that we are welcoming the short list. We are looking to have a short list for this mission. And this short list usually makes life easier for our department or for our staff. And the activities and the tasks needed from these people is very simple because of what we say the RFQ, request for quotation or request for proposal. As I said, the organization sends the TOR for the organizations, for these suppliers organizations, and asking for them to send their quotations and proposals. And the proposal consists of a technical one, describes the technical process or the technical features or services or products or materials that the suppliers could offer, plus the financial offer for these commodities or for these services. So the RFQ, it's a document to collect terms, conditions, and other information from whom? From the potential suppliers. That we expect them to be our suppliers, so we expect that they have these papers or they have these abilities, the RFQ is a written format for the supplier's abilities. So when we have the RFQ that includes lots of information, descriptions of the items, quantity, quality, delivery, location, quality, terms of payment, whatever you want to see, you can read it in the paper to have the full picture and the full the complete understanding of this mission or of this delivery of the materials. You can also, from the RFQ, you can make some bid, or you can negotiate some details regarding the products, the design, the quality, the cost, the payment system, the delivery, any information relative to this delivery or these materials. You can do it, you can have them. And these bids usually different from product to product, from amount of money to amount of money, from organization to organization, and we have them in different formats, different tasks they are performed. But usually the competitive bidding, it's where we say it's efficient and it's available in these conditions. When we have large enough orders to justify the competitive bidding, it means we have lots of orders, lots of work to perform, we need to go to competitive bidding. Another thing, think about the specifications are clear enough for the suppliers. The suppliers have lots of information and knowledge about their abilities and the cost and the delivery from us. It's clear for everybody, the suppliers and for us. The marketplace is competitive. We have lots of suppliers. They are available and they are willing to do the work and able to do the work. Also, we have a short list of some certain qualified suppliers, and they want to contract with us, and we want to select one of them could be suited, maybe for suitable for this condition or for this item to deliver. The time is available. The money we need to hold these meetings is available, and we can do the evaluation process easily. And we don't have, as an organization, one supplier is a preferred supplier all the time. It means all the competitors for us, they are the same. All suppliers, they are the same. So we're selecting one of them. It means we are not sacrificing a very loyal supplier to us. They are all organizations equal in our point of view, and we want to deal with one of them, and they are good suppliers. The word e-auction or reverse auction, auctions run through the buyer's website. Here have a new terminology, which is the electronic format. The bidding is today performed by the electronic means, through our computers, laptops, mobile systems, mobiles, applications. We have ability of using the technology to do the bidding. And the bidding, it means that there is a website, and this website is available for us to publish our TOR and to accept the proposals or the RFQ or RFP through these websites. We have a simple example here. Our UNRWA offices in Palestinian territories, they can offer their requests through their website, and asking the suppliers, for example, when we want to build a school or a hospital or some service area, we can contact our contractors to tell them, support us or provide your technical proposals for building this school and your financial offers through this website. So they can do the auction, or we have these materials or documents through our the technology. And when we say the quotation is accepted and reviewed, and if we have some ideas to discuss, also we can fulfill this work. We can negotiate the terms of the contracts between us as an organization and the suppliers, And we can do this could be also directly by selecting a suitable supplier or a most qualified supplier. It means we are contacting some supplier directly and tell the supplier we want you, yes, we want you to provide us with these materials or provide us with these services, not anybody else. So we're making what we say it's a direct negotiation with the supplier. When we do this, take care that when we go to the direct negotiation with a supplier, this is the opposite case of when we think about the competitive bidding. It means when we go competitive bidding, we need to see lots of suppliers that are competitive enough, and we are equally dealing with all of them in the same manner. But when we go to what we say it's a negotiation stage or direct negotiation with a certain supplier, not any other supplier, it means we have one preferred supplier. He is the most qualified one. Maybe he is the only one can provide us with these services or materials. So when are the times or what are the occasions? I'll tell us more about the situation when we go to the negotiation or the direct negotiation. These items explain the time when we go to the direct negotiation, which is if there is the criteria listed above the mentions, the items that we mentioned here, is one of them is missed, we go to direct negotiation. It means if there is not enough time, there is not available suppliers, there are not competitive suppliers, maybe we have a preferred supplier, one of these items is not available, we go to the direct negotiation. Another thing which is maybe the direct negotiation could be the best one to select a supplier. We can deduct the time, the efforts, the cost, and negotiate some technical terms such as the design, the quality, the delivery, the terms of payment. These things could be happen when we go to direct negotiation, not through the request for proposal. Also, think about the face-to-face negotiation gives deep understanding and better results rather than going to what we say it's assessing papers without seeing real parties and negotiate the ideas of real organizations or people represent these suppliers. Face-to-face all the time is more powerful. And when we say that the buyers wants early supplier involvement because we have a new product or new market or new design or something innovative, we need to have a certain supplier side by side with us in the whole process. So we start with negotiating one certain supplier and not moving to the RFE or RFQ by asking multiple suppliers. Add here another factor that talks about the difficulties of finding suitable suppliers because of the risk, because of the design, because of the cost, because of the idea is not clear enough. And finally, if we don't want that much time the competitive bidding takes, we can usually go to the direct negotiation. It means when we do the competitive bidding, for example, we need about maybe 2 weeks till a month. Having a newspaper advertisement or sending emails for certain suppliers, give some time period for these suppliers in order to prepare the proposals and to submit them. Usually this takes from week to maybe 2 weeks. And finally we have a committee that will assess the proposals and to give their ideas and decisions made finally from the overall criteria of overall assessment criteria. So we have different routes that gives priorities for negotiation sometimes and gives competitive bidding the best suited idea for selecting this. When we say that we need a supplier. From a list, asking them to provide proposals, or from a phone call that we do with a certain supplier and reserve a meeting at our office. These are different ways for identifying and selecting the suppliers. Having the suppliers in our office in order to negotiate them, this is a good work to do. Maybe receiving the proposals from the first stage in order to assess their abilities, this is a good thing to tell. So we have here the idea of selecting the suppliers and negotiating the suppliers. We have different approaches. We can go for the RFQ, or what we say RFP, from a short list. This list contains certain names of people or organizations that are trusted. We can receive their papers, documents, assess them to have our decision. So we need to make a decision. So these decisions comes from papers. The other format is going to what we say direct negotiation with meeting face to face. So we have people meet together, have their ideas to be negotiated. Each one has his own objectives, own ideas in mind, and they are negotiating two things: money and technical work. Technical contains multiple items. Technical contains multiple items. They are the same. Think about the cost, the time, the delivery, the money, the quality. Think about the technology. We have multiple items to be discussed. So all the time, the selection criteria that we will talk about in more details, and all scorecards or evaluation criteria, they are the same. But here we have one to assess directly. Here we have group to be evaluated and select from a list. Thank you very much for your time and listening. We wish you are in a good time, and see you again, inshallah. Goodbye.